All right, let's dive into a project called Ego Paysenger. We're going to be looking at its pretty bold attempt to put a price tag on something we all have, but very few can actually command: attention. So let's just start with a problem that I think we all get. Your favorite creator, that expert you follow, their inbox is just flooded with thousands and thousands of messages. So how does your message, your important question, ever even get seen? And then you flip it around from their side. How do they find the genuine important messages in this just sea of spam? That's really the core question we're looking at today. How do you make communication valuable again? So one possible answer is this platform called Paysenger, and it's built on a really simple but kind of powerful idea. What if you could attach real value to your message to absolutely guarantee it gets seen? Let's break down how that's supposed to work. At its core, Paysenger calls itself a social-fi platform. That's short for social finance. You can think of it like a digital priority stamp for your message. It creates this direct, paid channel that lets you lift your message way above all the noise, making sure it lands right in front of the creator. And in return, that creator gets paid for their time and their attention. So, for you, the user, it's a really simple three-step deal. First, you find the creator you want to talk to. Second, you use the platform's own crypto, the Ego token, to attach a payment. And third, your message gets bumped right to the top of the list. It's designed to be a win-win. You get seen, and the creator gets paid for engaging. Yeah, this slide really lays out the whole before and after picture. We all know the old way, right? Your DMs just get lost, creators are totally overwhelmed. What Paysenger is trying to do is act as this value-based filter. The whole goal is to give the fan a direct line while also making sure the creator's time is actually rewarded. Okay, but what's actually making all this tick? What's under the hood? Well, the platform is built on three of the biggest buzzwords in tech right now: a native crypto token, NFTs, and of course, artificial intelligence. So the foundation for this entire ecosystem is the Ego token. And it's not just for tipping creators. It's literally the fuel for every single transaction, every reward, and every interaction that happens on the platform. Now, this is where their take on NFTs gets pretty interesting. Instead of just being, digital art you look at, they have a really unique function. The platform actually rewards the owners of the most popular NFTs with free Ego tokens every single week. So a popular NFTer basically becomes an asset that earns you money, almost like a form of staking. And then you have the AI piece. Passenger is building in these personalized AI models that can actually learn an individual artist's unique style. So this means you could commission AI-generated art that's based on that specific creator's vibe. And the sources make a point to mention this was co-developed with a former Stanford professor, which, definitely adds a layer of credibility to the whole thing. So that's the what and the how. But the big question is why? Why did this project get so much buzz? To answer that, we really got to look at the numbers. Okay, this is a huge one. Before the Ego token even had its main launch, the platform had already pulled in over 500,000 users. Now, in the crypto space, for a new project to have a pre-existing active user base of that size, that's incredibly rare, and it's a massive reason for all the hype. And that user base is backed up by some pretty solid community numbers. We're talking over 115,000 followers on Twitter, and maybe even more important, 50,000 creators already on the platform. This means it's not just an idea on paper, it's a living platform with an active base of people creating content. And this number right here is what really made investors' heads turn. The project's initial market cap was just under $300,000. I mean, when you compare that tiny valuation to a user base of 500,000 people, you can see why the sources were flagging it for having some serious growth potential. And the heavy hitters behind it add to that story. The project has support from major players like Polygon and ConsenSys. The guys who made the MetaMask wallet? On top of that, one of the founders apparently has experience building a billion-dollar business that worked with Visa and MasterCard. You throw in some industry awards, and you can see the picture the sources are painting: a well-connected and credible team. Okay, so with all of that context, what were the actual expectations for the Ego token? What did people think it would do? Here, we're just going to report on the predictions and the general feeling from the crypto influencers and our sources. And as always, this is just an explainer of their views, not any kind of financial advice. This is a direct quote from crypto analyst Michael Rubel. Looking at that super low initial market cap and the huge user base, he was basically expecting the token's value to multiply by 10 and fast. It's a really clear sign of just how bullish people were around the launch. Another source, Morales from BeChain, gives some context by comparing Ego's potential to another project they watched. They mentioned making a 200% return themselves, and that other people they knew saw returns up to 800%. So in their view, this sets the stage for the kind of high-risk but potentially high-reward outcome these launches can have. So let's just lay it all out here, based on what the sources are saying. The bull case is pretty clear. You've got a massive user base, a super low entry price, and some unique tech. But on the other side of the coin, you have the risks that come with any new project. These tokens can be incredibly volatile, its success completely depends on getting even more users, and at the end of the day, the team has to actually deliver on their very ambitious promises. And that kind of leaves us with the final question, doesn't it? Is this a genuinely new way to build the creator economy? A real, sustainable way to put a value on attention? Or is it just another project riding the massive wave of crypto hype? The answer, as always, is probably going to depend on whether the platform can actually deliver on its very big promises. Thanks for watching.